Um, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, it's going to be a very good presentation. Have an open mind and open heart to hear what you're about to hear. It can change your life if you choose to say yes, tell the world, and figure it out. So I'll pass the baton to Elmien so she can introduce herself, say her story, and we will go on with our presentation.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Elmien. I studied as a physiotherapist, currently not working as a physiotherapist, but getting to change lives by telling people about this phenomenal patch. It took me quite a while to have my own testimony, which I would love to share a bit later. But I saw the beauty of these patches and I decided that I'm going to change the trajectory of my life. So I started patching because I had faith in a friend who told me, you got to try this. So if any one of you on here have a friend who told you, you got to try this, and even if you don't know what's going on, trust me, give it a try and you'll thank that person later. So I am thankful for my Trisha who told me, and that's why I am here. So I'd like to ask you if you've been patched yet and get this story rolling.
Sorry. Hold
Thank
on
you, Abby.
1 second.
No worries.
You were so fast. All right, go ahead.
Alrighty. So I would like to introduce you to David Schmidt. He is the CEO, he is the inventor, he is a scientist, and he actually has over 180 patents already to his name. He specializes in age reversing, and you're going to hear this term again later. This is not anti-aging, he specializes in age reversal. And it took him quite some time to get this product to market and a whole lot of money so we can experience the awesomeness of this. Right, we have patents that protects this beautiful patch of ours. So no one else can tell you that they also have this product. And I'd like to read a small part out of one of the patents that says embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, and so it goes on. And this already should make you very excited. There is loads of research that has been done on these patches to prove that they do exactly what we say they do. And you can go and look at all of this research if you'd want to. So why stem cells? If you know what a stem cell is, bear with me for a moment, but I'm going to tell you all what it is because they are such amazing little cells. And if you understand the significance of stem cells, it'll literally blow your mind. The New England Journal of Medicine said that our wellness gets measured by the amount of stem cells that we have. So that means that they really are significant. And years ago, just when you started being a human being, those cells that came together and started the first cell was a stem cell. And then that same cell, the totipotent stem cell, divided and became more cells. And that's literally what made you a human being. Those pluripotent stem cells then became bone, skin, muscle, and everything that makes you a human being. And the stem cells don't stop just there. Now, as an adult, when you're injured or you need healing or recovery in any way, the stem cells come and do that job. And so as we age, by the time we're 30, we actually have about half our stem cells doing their job. And by the time we're 60, just about 10% of them are doing their job. And we're experiencing ageness. So what is very interesting is that those stem cells didn't go away. They're all sitting lazy in a corner, all shriveled up and just not able to do their job. And we're going to show you a way to kick them in the butt and get them working again. So how does X39 work? It works by a concept called phototherapy, which is light therapy. And we can get light therapy in all different ways. Light that enters our skin through infrared devices and things like that, always seen as phototherapy. But no one else has this patent on this beautiful patch. So this is a use patch. And this little circle in the middle is nanocrystals that reflects your own infrared light back at a very specific frequency to stimulate copper peptide. So it has no chemicals in, it is non-transdermal, it means nothing goes through your skin, it's not an injection, it is just a patch that acts like a mirror, reflecting light back into your body, so that the beauty of your own body's healing can kick off and start doing its own thing. And it's that GHK that goes and kick those stem cells sitting doing nothing to become activated again. Right, some of the benefits we are seeing with these patches. Increase in strength, which I personally experienced, reduced inflammation, increase in stamina, lots and lots of energy and vitality. My household asks me to patch only every second day because they cannot keep up with me anymore. Mental clarity, everyone will tell you how the brain fog has lifted. And for me personally, I have started experiencing a mental stability that I don't think I've ever had before. Restoration of muscle or skeletal conditions, improvement in sleep, improvement in skin appearance, and it really just gives you ultimate wellness. It is, however, very important to know that our products, all of our patches, are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. This is a wellness device and registered as such. Alrighty, being a physiotherapist, I like the facts. I like the scans, I like the x-rays, I like the things that talk harder than just something someone is feeling. They're much more objective. And this is a beautiful topography map of a 77-year-old lady who patched herself on the back of her neck, and then they actually looked at what's happening inside her brain. So session 1, she had inflammation of her brain, she had a lack of brain coherence, and actually it was noted that her brain was very hyperactive at this point. Session 2 was after only 3 weeks on X39, showed no more inflammation on her brain and improved brain coherence. Session 3, 6 weeks on the X39, she had a complete turnaround. Her brain had much better coherence, still no more inflammation. And if you actually go and look at the study, which is available on our website, you will see also the map of, you can see how the hyperactivity of the brain calms down and the left and right hemispheres communication to each other. Right, long-term results, and all of these are also out of our research. Within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset, and you will find this in the research of Dr. Lauren Pickett. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced, and that again in the topography scans that we have seen. Within 3 months, collagen is increased, and collagen is the most abundant protein in our bodies. It is not only something that makes our skins beautiful and that we need for our joints to work nicely. It's actually in our lungs, around our organs. It is so important for the structure of our bodies. And what we are seeing, because our bodies are becoming younger, is that they start to create their own collagen again, something that usually doesn't happen if you're 30 and older. So now we start having the benefits of increased levels of collagen in our bodies again. And then some of the research, some of my favorite research, showed that within 6 months, the heart actually reverses in age. So it seems like currently that for 6 weeks patching, your heart reverses 8 weeks. So over time, that really amounts to a beautiful difference in your cardiovascular system becoming younger. And that exactly is why David Schmidt says that this is age reversing and not just anti-aging. All right, how do we wear this beautiful patch? Firstly, we put it on our skin. The research was done by putting it behind the neck or underneath the navel for consistency in research, but you can patch it where it hurts. You can literally put it anywhere in your skin and it's going to do its job. You wear it for 12 hours only, and then you take it off so that your body doesn't become accommodated or used to the phototherapy. So we really wanted to do the best it can for the longest it can. Then for 12 hours, you have it off, and you do the same thing again tomorrow. It is very important that you drink enough water, not only for the patches to work, but because it's a good idea in life. And also for good cellular hydration, think about adding some Celtic salts or any form of hydration to actually have that water go into your cells and not just rinse through your body. When we're wearing these patches, or as a protocol, we suggest you try them for 3 months. We refer to the 90-day protocol. And the reason is because healing happens slowly over time, and you actually have no idea how you have abused your body. I literally, towards the end of last year, told my husband that I feel like the patch is starting to heal things that I didn't even realize were broken. And so you really need time for the patches to do their thing. Yes, we have people that have beautiful results quickly. The GHKCU, that copper peptide, really starts working within the first 24 hours, and we have the research to prove that. So there's already changes that happen fast. But for bodies that have had some damage and some hammering over time, you need to give yourself some time. David Schmidt actually suggests that you patch for 1 month, 1 month for every decade that you're old. Almost got that the wrong way around. So me being 40, I needed to patch for at least 4 months to be fair before deciding on what I think about these patches. Right, so X39 is such a sophisticated little sticker, yet it is so simple to explain, and the testimonies show that it is a simple concept. You really don't have to understand how it works. And the most beautiful thing I tell people is this patch doesn't ask for a diagnosis. It doesn't need a name. It doesn't need to know what's going on. What this patch does is it does a job. You patch yourself and it goes to work doing exactly what it needs to do. And so I'm going to share my own testimony right now, because it took me a whole 9 months to get here, and I was very patient. And initially, my thoughts around patching were to stop myself from getting hip replacements and knee replacements like my mother had. And then towards the end of last year, I actually started weaning off medication that I've been on for very long, both medication for depression as well as anxiety. And I did this whole journey with my psychiatrist. She was just as impressed. But so what was very interesting about my journey is towards the end of last year, I came to the point where I was certain I'm now ready to be done with my chemical medication. And I decided to just stop with my last pill. And it didn't go well, because what I also did in that season was stopping batching. We came into a situation where we had a lot less finances available, and I told myself it's going to be a great idea to save some money to not buy patches. And so I stopped patching and tried coming off my antidepressant and anxiety medication at the same time, and it didn't go well. So I started patching again, and I started drinking my medication again. And about 6 weeks ago, I did it right. I stopped my medication and I continued patching, and it worked like a charm. It is so amazing where I am right now, not to be experiencing the side effects of the medication that I had. And I didn't even realize how many side effects I was living with being on the medication, because I actually thought that my medication had a very low side effect profile. But yet, I feel like I've come alive on a complete different level. And then only very recently, I actually went and read the research, and now I understand exactly what happens inside my body with the GHK copper peptide that stimulates the stem cell, but that also stimulates amino acids in my brain. That stimulates, that is tryptophan, and that again goes into serotonin. So a bit of physio talk or medical talk there. But it is amazing how I built my own testimony and then only understood how and why it happened. So I will do everything possible to not ever have to not patch anymore, because the difference that it made for me personally has literally changed my life and the lives of those around me, because there's no grumpy mummy in this house anymore, just double speed mummy.
Let me say something. There's always something in this group that makes me laugh. Okay, there's always, and I learned something more about people. When 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 Elmien was talking about staying hydrated on the patch, we see Gazelle with a big bottle of water at the same time drinking. She's not a paid actor, okay? It just happened coincidentally. So so if you're a guest here today, that wasn't a paid, that just happened coincidentally. She talked about staying hydrated. We didn't pay Gazelle to bring a bottle of water and start drinking it at the same time. All right. That's just she just does that all I see her drink bottled water all the time. Anyway, I had to add that. It was so entertaining. Let's continue. Oh God. You have fun doing this business. Go ahead, Amin.
All right, so the website that is gold that you need to get to is thisisit.info.com. The research I referred to, I found there, the testimonies, and all sorts of extra information that you need to know about the patches and the company.
I can't help but laugh. I'm sorry, I gotta mute myself while you continue.
Javi, stick with us. We're going to make you famous. I'm telling you that.
I don't want to be famous. I want to be effective. Okay? That's the difference. Oh God. Go ahead, Almeen.
Right.
Rock it out. Go ahead.
I'm gonna roll with it. All right, Lifewave, super strong company. We are 20 years old. And what is super interesting, this patch came to market in 2019. So even though we're a 20-year-old company, if you look at what the financial stats of this company did in the last 5 years, you can only know that this patch is effective because we will not be in a position we are right now with such a strong company aiming to hit $1 billion this year if our patch was not working. So what makes it so unique is the fact that we don't have competition. I have been in direct selling before, specifically in the weight loss market, and having to try and convince people that my product is better than theirs broke me because I honestly believe that everyone has good products, they're just different. Whereas in this case, we have a product that I don't need to ever tell anyone is better than theirs because it is so unique. It is also in over 78 countries currently where there's warehouses and distribution centers, so we can make it easy for people to get patched and become better. All right, nice upward curve of our company's financials. And businessforhome.org is an independent evaluating website or company, and they've actually placed Lifewave as the momentum rank #1 company for 2023 and 2024. So they give us an A++ on their website, which is the highest possible rank a direct selling company can get. So we literally are the strongest, fastest growing direct selling company currently in the world. You want to do business with us. All right. We actually received a Bravo award also through businessfromhome.org, and then beautiful big conventions being arranged all over the world. This specifically is a convention in USA, but we have conventions going in so many other countries, and this really is where the magic happens because this is where you get to connect to like-minded people and you get to meet leaders in the industry that can really inspire you. And someone taught me a very wise thing a while ago. People who show up, go up. So I don't know today for you what your specific needs are. For me, spending more time with my family is huge. But maybe you want to go on a vacation, you want to travel, you have debt that you have to pay off. You need more financial security. Maybe you have a kid that's leaving the home and you have extra expenses coming from that. I don't know what your specific situation is today, but what I do know is you can do with some extra money. And whether you decide to run with this as a side hustle, as a hobby, and create just enough to pay for your product, or if you want to run with the big horses and make this your primary income, all of those possibilities are available inside Lifewave. So our compensation plan is the best I've personally seen, and I have been with different direct selling companies, as I've said. We have a compensation plan that really builds momentum, and it is lovely to work together as a team. In our company, the most important rank you want to achieve is manager, because if you can become a manager, you can become a senior presidential director. And to become manager is as simple as finding 4 people: your mother, your sister, your best friend, and maybe your best friend's daughter. You need 4 people who are going to enroll and be active. You place 2 of them on your left leg and 2 of them on your right leg, and you'll be happy to know there's only 2 legs. So it's easy to build in a binary system where you're building momentum in 2 legs. And once you have 2 active people on your left and 2 active people on your right side, you are seen as a manager. With our binary system, you can earn bonuses, and unfortunately, they're capped at the beautiful amount of $25,000 per week. And that's only for the binary compensation. We have 4 different ways that we earn in Lifewave. Hubby's favorite way of earning is our matching bonus. So the matching bonus is a way that Lifewave thanks us for helping other people succeed. So this really is a business where we care for people and we help other people become financially stronger. If I enroll Hugo today and he gets a bonus and I am his sponsor, I also get 25% of what he made as matching bonus, as the company's way of saying thank you for telling people and helping people do better on our financial plan. So with our company, you get in where you fit in. We have 3 different enrollment options, and you can start wherever is convenient for you. When you start at core, you start with 3 sleeves. When you start at advanced, you start with 6 sleeves. But if you start at premium, you have enough patches to patch everything that's moving and everyone that's not moving. Definitely the best idea if you are going to make a business of this. Tavi taught us the most patches on the street wins. You want to be able to show people this product and have them experience it. When you become a brand partner, we have so many ways of supporting you. Firstly, for me, when I started, I didn't have the words to explain what this is all about. And our website, thisisitinfo.com, which I referred to earlier as well, is a phenomenal place to send people to so that they can learn about the product. And you don't even have to have the words, but also for your onboarding process and for you how to learn to do this and how to find your words and how to really become a strong brand partner. We have thisisiteam.com where the onboarding and the training for our business partners happen. We have Zoom calls, we have WhatsApp groups, we have a school community. We actually have so many places of support for our brand partners. So I don't know how you got here, but what I do know, it is your time to make your move. And even if you still feel afraid, I love telling people they do it afraid, because you're going to learn and grow on the road and you're going to earn while you are doing that. One of the best decisions you can make is to join today and figure it out as you go. You can thank me later.
That was good. That was really good. Way to go. I strategically had her do the whole thing because I wanted to hear the whole thing. But guys, there you go. For those who are new here today, get back to the person who invited you. Say yes, tell the world, figure it out. If anything, what Elmien said, any testimonies that you heard has inspired you to want to at least try the patch for the next 90 days, David Schmidt says you should be on a product for as long as you've been alive. Every decade you've been born, 6 months, 60 years of age. If you're but minimum 90 days, you will get your story. The patch will do what it needs to do. Get back to the person who invited you, and they'll show you how to get started. If you want to join a team of winners that like this team is, why they're growing the way they're growing, because they said, yes, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And they just wanted to change everything about their lives. And it's happening as we speak. So, with that being said, thank you for joining. You could be doing anything else in your life, but you decided to come here with a group of winners to show you how to win. So we're going to stay on and we're going to talk a little bit of strategy. For those who are guests, you can stay on or you can hop off. And the person who invited you will follow up with you afterwards. All right? Elmien, you crushed it. That was really good. And we'll talk about that in the strategy session afterwards. All right.
Thank you, Javi. I appreciate it.
We'll give it a second. I'm still giggling about the bottled water thing. Watch the recording and watch it. It's happened so perfectly timing.
We're in sync, Giselle. We're in sync.
It was so cool. All right. Seems like if Gab, you want to take a quick, everyone seems to be here, like our brand partners.
Yeah, so we've got, I saw Giselle welcomed, Giselle, who did you welcome here?
Andre, he's off now.
Lynette, yeah,
Yeah, Nanette and Andre.
Lynette and Andre, and we've got Evelyn, who's here for the first time too. She was.
I'm right here.
She may have moved on now. Oh, good. Oh, good. There you go.
So I'm gonna have a little bit of I'm gonna switch it up here a little bit. Okay, I wanted to teach something, but something just came to my heart to divert. And before the Zoom call, we had a pretty impactful call with Gavin and Tanya and some other team members, and a lot of people have aha moments or self-evaluating of things that they need to hear. Okay. And when things in life are given to you, it's given to you not because you want it, because you need it. And we want lots of things, but if we don't get it, it's because we want it. We don't need it at the time. And things are going to come at its appropriate time. I want you to understand, folks, that using me as an example, I sat where you were sitting at one point in my network marketing career. I was unpolished. I was ghettofied. But I hear me always say, if how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if things change, we need to change by beginning by changing the way you think. So before I get into that, I just want to say that, I seen different people present here. And it's a joy to see because everyone has their way of delivery. Okay. And their way of delivery is unique. And when I say you have a gift and you use it, it will make room for you. Okay, Gavin and Tanya, they show their presentation more of a passionate way in terms of, let's speak logic to people. Okay, the same thing with Gazelle. Gazelle has some similar way of presenting. She speaks logic. She speaks a lot through passion. Elmien, on the other hand, speaks through passion, but she has entertainment in it so people can get their guards down and make people laugh, which is great. That's her gift, and it'll make room for you. And the reason why I do that, because in the beginning, I use Elmien as an example. She was motivatable. She was an incubator. She just sat there. She didn't present. She didn't do nothing. She always came. She had a positive attitude, always smiled until one day went, and I poked, and look, she just can't shut up now because she's giving a leadership role. And what we want to do, we want to build the person. The person will build the business. Okay, and that's exactly what we do here. And it's a joy to see because what we're gonna talk about here is we're gonna talk strategy. And why talk strategy? And there was a kind of a strategy call that we had with Gavin and Tanya afterwards, because a lot of people have the gift, but they don't know how to work the strategy. And they have the target, but they don't know how to work the strategy. And in just maybe 20 minutes into that call, I gave them a strategy and I said, this meeting is over. We don't have to continue. Because you give people the recipe to success, okay? The recipe to success. And is basically going back, this may sound cliche, by just creating a manager. And I gave Barbara her recipe to success and how to move forward. In terms of her doing it is how Gavin and Tanya is going to succeed to get to where they want to go. It just starts a ripple effect, okay? It's by putting a fire in the basement. Okay, I don't, I'll have Gavin and Tanya contributing to this, and I'm also going to have Barbara contributing to this. My job is to help you see something that you don't see. Okay, I'm outside of the picture frame. And when I first started working as a group, everyone here has a voice, everyone's going to teach, everyone is going to lead within the This Is It system by not diverting off. You will have the success you want. Okay. What happened to me sitting down before Zoom was even created, I've had mentors look at me in the face and tell me what I need to know so I can succeed, as what everybody else here does. Okay. I'm a very straight shooter. My name is Javi. I'm your friend. I will tell you exactly how it is. As raw as it is, but why is my job? Because I want to see you win. And then we're going to make this into a teaching moment, because when you learn something, you should teach it. And I'm going to have Gavin and Tanya teach it. Okay, right now on this training. Okay, because I taught something in the last Zoom meeting that we had access to do. I don't want to teach it. I want them to teach it. Okay, they took notes. And then I want Barbara to piggyback on that. And I want her to talk about what she learned, because now she's going to teach it. I am developing, you develop the person will build the business. Okay. Barbara was, what's the right word? Barbara was developed today. And now she's going to give her insight. What I'm doing here, I'm giving them leadership roles because I want them to know that they have a voice. Okay. Your team is going to do what they see, not what they're told. And watch your feet, not your mouth. And why I purposely having Gavin and Tanya teach it? Because that's what should be done as leaders. Teach what you've learned. Now, what you're going to learn today, you need to teach it to your team. Okay? You need to teach it to your team. And at the end, I'm going to ask, if you're a manager today, what is it going to take to go director? Who do I have to ask in my group that wants to go manager so I can go director? Okay, if I'm a director today, who am I going to ask in my group that wants to go manager so I can go and help people go, those two managers go director so I can go senior director? Those are the targets. The strategy is the work. Okay, not just enrolling on the surface. Okay, because in a snap of a finger, I can give you what you need to do. It's just the point that you have to implement and do the work to do it. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to have Gavin and Tanya teach today what they've learned.
Cool. Thank you, Javi. Yeah, what's interesting about what happened in just an hour ago is something that Javi has mentioned over and over again, to which we fell foul, if you get the chicken inference. And that came about from a couple of things. So firstly, where we started off was we had a bunch of people who said yes, they're going to join a meeting, and then didn't show up. But enough showed up that it became an amazing teaching. And I think that's where Javi's coming from. Is we then realized that the people in the room were the special people, and that we could be focusing on people who are going to listen and lean across the table. And like all of you guys in this meeting right now, everyone is leaning across the table saying, show me more, teach me more. And a lot of the difficulties that we face are talking to the wrong type of people who are not our tribe just yet. So they have their own baggage, they have their own limiting beliefs, they have their own life experiences, that when they hear any of us talk, Elmien, Giselle, Jenny, whenever, Martisia, it can come across, because we come across with such conviction in our own product and in our own business, it can sometimes seem to be arrogant. It can be so self-assured, and it can be too much for people who are sitting out there going, show me what this is all about, and it could push them away, for instance. And those are the people that you kind of have to circle back to. And what Javi then reiterated for me was to be intentional about the strategy behind our businesses. And right inside of the conversation that we were having was a solution for a whole bunch of us to move forward. And right in that conversation, it was one question. And the question was, there was a brand new manager in the room, and Javi's question was, where are those 4 people, and what have we done about launching their businesses for them to go manage it? And that shocked me in my teeth because it was plain and obvious, but we hadn't done it. So that was for me the learning. That's the adjustment in thinking, that sometimes we are talking to the wrong people, and we are expending time and energy on people that are not going to fly with us, and that makes this journey exhausting. And one of the people that were in the call said it's just hard. It seems to be so frustrating, and um, and challenging. So it's in the words we also use. And I recall many times listening to Javi talking about the words, right? It's what are we saying to ourselves, and which is the internal conversation, and what is the external conversation, the words we're putting out there. And I think that often we can trap ourselves in the comments that someone makes to us. And I think for me, definitely one of my takeaways was, don't do that. We know what we have. We've seen the business work. We've seen the patches work time and time again. The results are irrefutable everywhere you look. Elmien, your story, any one of the people in this room, new people in this room, I can tell you that there are testimonies everywhere. So we don't have to make excuses about it. There they are, period. Patented, they do what they do, period. And sometimes we also get caught in the aspect of not asking enough questions about the other person that you're talking to. So we try to, if someone says, okay, so tell me about what it is that you do, we're immediately into verbal overload.
Vomiting on them, yeah.
And so actually the flip of that coin is the better idea. Tell me about your situation. What do you do? How are things going? And out of that conversation, once they've tired themselves out, the focus is pretty much automatically going to revert to, okay, so now I've said everything about me. What are you busy doing? And the answer to that is, I can show you how to make more money. You can say, I'm going to show you 6 figures. I can show you how to make $500 extra a week. Whatever it could be real for that person to receive, that's where you go. And I'm going to work with you to do that. And by the way, let's have a call later on, and we'll assess whether or not you qualify to be part of our business. Because I think some of the mindset that we've had, and I'm sure some of you guys have it too, is if someone will just say, yes, I'll talk to you, we're all over that. It's like the fly over the braai meat, It's like, well, I'm in there. And maybe that's actually been lying on the table for 5 days, and you actually don't want any of that. So I think we've got to make this somewhat selective, because I think when you do that, you create a little bit of lean across the table, and I need to do something to earn the right to sit at the table.
Yeah.
And if we do it on that basis, then we don't get drawn into other issues like network marketers that mess up our business, or multi-level marketing conversations, or other brands and other products. We don't have that situation here. We are leaders in our field in all aspects, the business and the product. So those were some of the things. I'm going to ask Tanya to share some of her thoughts too.
Yeah, so what I loved about that was I loved when Javi was just saying again, like, be intentional. Like, how do you see me? Ask the person, how do you see me? Because, Javi, also said you always hit good ground, no matter what. So when you plant the seed, it's going to find its way to good ground. It will. So it might be on a rock or it might be down the cliff and, knee deep in the water, but it's going to find good ground. You're going to find those guys. It's, you're looking for the blue M&Ms. You're looking for the eagles. Else, in hubby's past teachings, it's like taking a chicken and throwing it up in the air and going, fly, chicken, fly, and you end up with chicken shit all over you, right? Some chickens don't want to fly. So, and I absolutely love this, is I don't care if you don't come into my business because you're actually offering a solution to them and their problems. And then to ask enough questions, because it was said, they go, oh, well, I'm still blah, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, or whatever it is. Then say, ask more questions. So what's holding you back? Because I was saying sometimes you work on people so long and so long and so long. At what point do you give up? What point do you stop? And that's a very personal thing because you got to judge the person and go, I care enough about you to actually want to help you to make a change. I care enough about you. And you want to go back to them because you care enough. But maybe they're not saying yes because they are afraid of hurting your feelings. And rather than extract from them, it's okay to tell me no if you don't want to do this. I can live with that. At least I know, then I can move on because we all have the same 24 hours in the day, guys. We all have the same time. Okay. It's not like hubby's got more hours. It's like he says, he's up at 5:30 every day because he knows if he gets up later, he loses that time frame where he could have been spending that time helping people, working with people. And then ask questions. What's holding you back? And then say to him, I don't know what your ambition level is. Do you want to do this as a hobby? Do you want to do this full time? What's your ambition level? What is your necessity level where this business is concerned? And it's about community. We do lose touch. And that's sad. We need to touch base again with our team, our community. We actually all are in this together. And the more we ask each other, how can I help you? The more everyone will actually win. It's a case of what can I do for you? This is a community business, guys. You're not in it for yourself. And if you think you are, it's sad because you'll soon realize it doesn't work that way. You're going to have to help others. And that's what's nice about it. And you can ask them, what's your ambition level? And I can show you. Then lock arms with them, guys, and go forward. We're not here to convince anybody. It's like Javi said, Gav said, and Stephen Gina Merritt and David says, the patch and the patent don't need your help, guys. It's been done. They really don't need your help. So we're not here to convince you. The fact that we're in the vicinity of all these people that actually drastically need this as a solution, you just got to find those people. If they're not listening and they don't want it, their time's not right. Then move on. Fly, chicken, fly.
And I think one of the other points that came up is how many people do you have to contact to get someone who's interested? Well, you have to keep, and I'm sharing this on screen, but I'm actually talking to myself. So understand that all of us have our own limiting beliefs, right? So when I'm sharing this, I'm talking to the mirror and I'm saying you've got to keep going until you land one, and then do more and keep going until you land another one. There are enough people in your town, in the country, on the planet that don't know about it. Just today, I spoke to someone, an acquaintance in a real estate agency who I would have put money on knew about Lifewave. What she does as a what her interests are, where she comes from, what challenges she's been through. And I asked the question, have you heard about the X39 and Lifewave? She had no idea. And I was like, it was such a slap in the face and a reminder to me, as Javi says all the time, there are millions of people who want to know about this. And the strange thing was, she's like, she's not all in yet, but she's like,
Tell me
a
more.
year ago she was in the same financial business position, and I reminded her that, like Javi does when he points. I reminded her of it, and I said, "No more from here, Kylie Buertes." and she's reaching, and she's engaged. So what's it going to take? Continuously filling up her 72-hour glass. And the million times Javi said that, and I'm talking to myself again, the million times he said, keep filling up the 72-hour glass, I keep forgetting.
Mhm.
I keep forgetting, or not forgetting, I miss someone that ought to have had it.
Yeah.
And there they go, because when it runs empty is when they're prone to distraction or switch off. And that's, I think, is part of the trick, the discipline, the constant alertness to what's right in front of you right now that's going to make everyone around you move forward. And that's kind of what happened with us a little while ago, where it was like, oh my word,
Mm.
it's right in front of our noses and we didn't even see it.
And also the fact that Javi said, and this is so true as well, give yourself permission to win. It's okay to want things. Be grateful for what you do have. Look at what you actually do have. And then it's okay to want more. It's okay to think big, to have big dreams. That's part of what this business is, guys, is to give people their dreams back. Somebody once said, "Oh, you can't do it." Somebody once said, "Oh, that's not for you. Oh, that'll never happen for you." How dare they? And again, how dare you not speak to people when it comes into your space, into your environment? You have an obligation to speak to people about this, because how dare you decide for somebody else, really, what they may or may not be interested in. So, in that, it's just about really talking to everybody, right? So, I'm party to that, and I think, oh, they'll never, it's not for them. They're doing fine. You don't know. You really don't know. And also, we have people in our own organization. We actually have the numbers to do this. We have the people. Everybody sitting here can do this, wants to do this, else you wouldn't be sitting here. So if we just work with what's right in front of us, like how amazing is that? Because you've shown up, you're here.
And then if I could finish off a little, what's the next step what's your next goal? What's your next milestone? And that date needs to be set in stone, if you like. Choose the date. I highly recommend you run the date by Javi for your next achievement or the next goal that you want to achieve, and then we figure out how we're going to get there. Because it can be faster than we think. It's just how we do the obvious with discipline and locking arms together. So Javi, was wondering if we've missed anything out there.
That, that was a phenomenal training. Phenomenal. And why? Because everyone has a voice, everyone's going to lead, everyone's going to present, everyone's going to teach. Tanya said something about community. I'm going to play a video real quick about community. Okay. Let me just bring it up here real quick. There we go. Pay attention, Gazelle.
I beg your pardon?
Pay attention.
Can't hear. Sorry, Avi, I didn't hear you.
Okay.
The video is actually not playing on my side.
No,
I
it's
don't know
not
if it's
playing.
playing for
Playing,
anyone
Abby.
else.
Not playing.
No.
So- It's not playing?
No.
All right. That's my fault. I take it back, Gazelle. I saw you looking down. I said, why isn't she looking at the video?
Try again.
Let's try again. Let me bring up that video again, since I was just scolded. I'll take the scolding for sure. I'll take the scolding for sure. I'll call you right back. Anyway, Tanya, while I get this video, can you continue real quick? This is a very important video.
Well, I don't think there's much more for me to say. I don't know if Barbara wants to add anything from her side, what she learned and
Yeah,
what,
Barbara,
yeah.
yeah, let Barbara. This is Barbara.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Do you see this here? Hold on. Let me see.
Share your screen.
I will. Do you see that?
Yeah.
You do see it. All right, let me try it again.
Yes.
How about now?
No audio.
No audio?
Nope.
All right. Well, this is it's this video talks about community, about the importance of it and why our biggest asset is our team. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in Team Light Year so everybody can see it themselves.
Right.
Okay.
Excellent.
Reason why we pour into our team because it shows different aspects of somebody's life, a difficulty that's happening in their life, why Lifewave ends up in their lives, all walks of life. And this video hit home with me, and I held it, and I titled it as Life Lesson. And you're gonna find people in your group go through those lessons. I really wanted to play it here, and I didn't want to put it on the group, but it's gonna hit home with all you guys. And you're gonna understand why investing into your team is your asset. That's your asset, and why you need to help them with Lifeway. So we're gonna end it real quick. We've been here an hour. Let just Barbara say her few words, and then we'll conclude this. This.
Barbara, you up?
You there, Barbara?
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
Wow.
Sorry. Sorry. My whole family is very excited.
Those
Yes,
patches.
yeah. The vet also don't want to believe it's the patches that saved her, but yeah. Like Harvey said, people never remember the favors you do for them and or the service that you render to them, but they do remember how you made them feel. And you guys know I was in a bad space. 2 months later, I'm a new person. And as soon as people start talking and tell me about their challenges, I go too quick into, but I've got an answer for you. Because my life is a testimony of what the patches that's done for me. So to me, that we have to listen first. You need give them sorry, this is a pup that wasn't supposed to make it. She's full of energy. So we have to focus on people and be intentional. Let them tell their story first. Let them blow off steam, and when they don't have words anymore, then we go in. I sometimes talk too quickly, I think. And I'm not going to beg people anymore to just give it a try, because eventually they are going to come back to us and say, but, can I try it? If they lose out, we're trying too much to, my heart is helping people. So I know it's going to help them, but if they're not ready for it, it's not going to help us to beg them to try. We must qualify them to be part of our business. And I think that to me is something that I really need to work on. And I think that is where my challenge is in our business.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well said.
100%, Barbara.
Yeah. And well done on making manager, by the way. Good job.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
There you go.
I think today was a very good, impactful meeting, starting with the meeting I had with the Kelseys before. So Barbara, you know what to do. You just need to do
Yeah,
it. You just need to do what you know.
I will.
So I'm here to help. Just a message away. And that's it for today, guys. It was a great meeting, a good huddle, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Hubby.
Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, everyone.
It was
Thank you very much.
amazing. Thank you, Abby.